This is your Fox 49 News at 10.
Good evening. Leon County commissioners are taking a stand on the county's future, and they're asking voters for advice. We have some team coverage for you tonight. Leon County commissioners voted late today to move forward with giving voters a say in whether local leaders should explore consolidating the city of Tallahassee and Leon County. The board approved a so-called straw poll on the fall ballot in a 6-1 vote today. Fox 49 News reporter James Hill bringing us what voters think about this idea so far. But first, Fox 49's Jayla Howard shows us what happened at today's meeting and explains what happens next.
Today's vote wasn't actually about merging Tallahassee and Leon County governments. Instead, commissioners decided whether voters should give their okay, allowing local leaders to explore the idea of consolidation. In a 6-1 vote, commissioners agreed to move forward with a non-binding ballot question that would appear on the 2026 general election ballot. The proposed question would ask voters whether leaders should develop a plan to consolidate the city of Tallahassee and Leon County governments. It only happened in Florida once before when Jacksonville and Duval County consolidated in 1968. Commissioners debated two different versions of the ballot language. One option asked a simpler question about developing a consolidation plan. The second option, which commissioners approved, calls for developing a plan under the county government structure. Commissioner Rick Miner, who isn't opposed to consolidation, explained his push for version 1, simply wanting voters' opinions first before moving forward with creating a plan.
Now, if voters support consolidation on the straw ballot in November, we'll all get to work. We'll collaborate with Leon County residents, and we'll develop the best plan possible. Then we'll go back to the voters and see whether or not they want to proceed with consolidation.
Several commissioners, including Commissioner Cummings, said they are not necessarily supporting consolidation itself, but do support letting voters share their opinion.
I will support a referendum on the ballot, trusting the citizens to weigh in on it. But my underlying notion is against consolidation.
The only one to vote against the measure came from Commissioner O'Keefe, who expressed concerns about local control and how state lawmakers could ultimately shape a consolidation plan. Commissioner Caban says the referendum is simply about giving voters a voice and whether the idea should move forward.
Ultimately, this is about democracy and asking the voters what they want. If this comes back and the voters don't want it, well, I think it's pretty clear that this is a dead conversation.
If approved by voters on the 2026 election ballot, local leaders would still have to come up with a plan and work with state legislators before returning to voters to decide whether to merge the two governments. In Tallahassee, Jayla Howard, your Fox 49 News.
Tallahassee and Leon County have tried this 4 other times, going all the way back to 1971. So now that Leon County leaders have put the question of government consolidation to voters, what do these voters think about the move? Fox 49 took to the streets of Tallahassee tonight to find out what you think about this idea of combining city and county governments all into one. Our team coverage continues now with Fox 49's James Hill, who talked with voters to get their thoughts on this question of consolidation. James?
Melanie, voters I talked to say this is a very serious question and it deserves serious consideration.
Leon County commissioners will go ahead with the government consolidation question that puts them in the driver's seat on the process. But voters I talked to say they don't really understand that process and how it will work. Some say if it ain't broke, don't fix it, while others are a little more open to the idea. One thing people seem to agree on is any move to consolidate needs definite benefits for all involved in the city of Tallahassee and Leon County.
The resources were combined as long as important funds weren't being cut, like funds going towards education or anything else like that. I think it could be good, but I would need more information about it, just because I feel like consolidating might mean cutting things.
I believe that living in the city of Tallahassee, living inside of our canopy is a choice. It's a decision that we all make to be part of a community, to be part of a city. How we relate to each other is different in the city. There's different expectations around privacy than if you live in the county. And with that also is a different expectation about the kinds of services that you're going to get delivered. I think that they are two distinctly different forms of government, and I think the current structure serves our community well.
Again, the question remains about consolidation, and it's only part of a non-binding straw poll on the November ballot, and only if voters say yes would the Leon County Commission move forward to consolidate. We'll keep you posted. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm James Hill with your Fox 49 News.
Fox 49 reached out to all 4 Tallahassee City Commissioners to get their response about this issue. We left phone messages, sent emails, and text messages for Diane Williams-Cox, Jeremy Matlow, Jack Porter, and Curtis Richardson. Only one got back to us by airtime, saying they would try to get us an official statement. And as soon as we get that, we will report it to you here and at fox49.tv. That's our website. We want to know what you think. Scan the QR code on your screen to answer our poll. Do you support consolidating Leon County and the city of Tallahassee? Let us know, and we'll share the results right here tomorrow night at 10. Florida lawmakers are on track to miss their deadline to pass a state budget, threatening funding to key projects and pushing the legislative session into overtime. And every extra day that they stay in Tallahassee comes with a cost to taxpayers. Fox 49's Nick Carmia breaks down what an extended session will mean for you.
A regular legislative session lasts 60 days, but last year, lawmakers didn't finish the budget until day 105. Now, with the last official day being this Friday, history could be repeating itself.
I think we ought to be embarrassed.
Experts estimate a special or extended session costs taxpayers between $30,000 and $50,000 per day. That's to bring the state's 160 elected lawmakers back to Tallahassee. A Florida Senate spokesperson tells us the Senate's share alone averages about $20,000 per day. Lawmakers do not receive overtime pay. Their pay is fixed at $29,000 a year, but they do receive per diem. That's $80 a day, or lodging reimbursement, plus a $36 meal allowance. They're also reimbursed for one round trip home each week at 44.5 cents per mile if they drive, or economy airfare if they fly. Those costs, along with staffing and operations, add up each extra day.
I would think that the people of Florida ought to be disappointed in their legislature. I should have been able to do better.
Gates calls the session one of the least productive he's seen in more than a decade, blaming infighting between leaders.
We don't have any Democrats to argue with anymore. They're in a decided minority. So we've decided to argue with each other.
Now, how much longer lawmakers remain here and how much more it's going to cost taxpayers depends on how quickly budget negotiators can strike a deal. In Tallahassee, Nick Carmia, your Fox 49 News.
The Florida Constitution requires lawmakers to pass a balanced budget each year, but it does not set a penalty if they miss that regular session deadline.
First warning weather.
I'll hand it on over now to our very own Chief Meteorologist Alan Strum. Now, Alan, are we expecting any rain later this week?
Hey, Melanie, yes, we've got some on the way. Right now, we're all dry around the area, nothing showing up. We really have to zoom out the map. And there's been a severe weather threat really from the Midwest all the way down to Texas. You can see some alerts on the map, and then far side, the blue color on the map indicating where there is some snow. But check this out with our futurecast. And I'll run it hour by hour here in a little bit with a more extended report, and we'll take a look at it. But this tells us that we can expect the rain to be moving in Thursday morning. So first thing on Thursday, we'll look for that. Right now, temperature's still very warm. I mean, we're looking at temps in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees, and it will be warm all night long. Look for low temperatures just to fall down into the low 60s, and I'd look out for some late night and morning fog.
The 17th annual Capital City Senior Games are in its second week, and today all eyes were on the powerlifters. The competitors, ages 50 and older, went head-to-head in the bench press. One athlete took home the gold medal in the 70 to 74 division. That's impressive. He told us how important events like this are for older adults.
So I think it's important as we get older to stay active, and this gives me a goal, something to shoot for every year that I work towards. So I appreciate this opportunity to do this here, and it's great fun, great camaraderie, and I've always enjoyed it. Done it for many years.
The Senior Games still has many competitions left, including mountain biking and archery. The games end March 17th. A new bill is banning cell phones in Florida and Georgia schools. The improvement, educators say, is already being made. And President Trump says he's not signing any new bills until the SAVE Act is passed. Why Democrats tell him they're not backing down, coming up.
You're watching your Fox 49 News at 10 with Melanie Levy and meteorologist Alan Strom.
A new study suggests teenagers spend more than 1/3 of their time each school day on their phones. It's the reason states like Florida and Georgia now have laws in place to put students' attention back on learning. Tonight, Fox 49's Courtney Dualaby shows us how these new laws are working and in some cases going farther than just taking cell phones out of the classroom.
Phones are a big part of students' lives, but recent policies in Florida and Georgia are limiting them in the classroom. And apparently, they're getting results. A recent study from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill found middle and high school students spend nearly 1/3 of the school day on their smartphones and not on learning. Researchers say some students check their phones dozens of times a day. They say frequent use leads to lower attention spans and difficulty staying focused in class. Last year, both Florida and Georgia passed bills to restrict the use of personal electronic devices at school. While Georgia's law isn't effective until July, the Thomas County School District put it into action immediately.
Following the distraction-free education bill, our students are not able to have their cell phones or any electronic devices from, we say, bell to bell.
Students must turn them off and put them in their book bags, and teachers say they can already notice the change in the classroom.
Put the phones away, put the earbuds away, and really hone into what we're teaching. I also see a huge improvement in their engagement in class, which is really shown in their test scores.
And across the border in Florida, test scores also show improvement. While they don't directly credit the phone policy, Leon County school leaders report this week students are making meaningful academic gains, as shown in their mid-year progress reports. Even parents I talk to say they like the no phone policies and believe the classroom should provide a break from their devices. Garcia says, like any new rule, the policy didn't come without some adjustment at first.
There was a little bit at the beginning of everyone getting used to it, but now, for the most part, it has gone well.
While this new research may raise concerns about smartphone use in school, parents and school leaders in Florida and Georgia believe they're one step ahead as they already see positive results. I'm Courtney DeWallaby, your Fox 49 News.
Under the policies in Florida and Georgia, phones are completely prohibited for students K through 8th grade. But some high schools can still choose whether students turn in their phones during class or keep them in their backpacks. Speed limits, they are not suggestions. That's the word tonight from the Grady County Sheriff's Office. These photos were posted to Facebook. The department says it saw several people driving well over the posted 55 mile per hour limit. As you can see, some of those speeds reached up to 92 miles an hour. Law enforcement says when speeds increase, reaction times decrease, and the severity of crashes rises dramatically. Remember to respect the posted speed limits and drive safe for you and other drivers on the road. Republican Senate leaders are toning down any optimism that the SAVE Act could pass, and Democratic leaders are affirming why.
You have a lot of optimists out there, and I appreciate that, and a lot of passion and energy behind getting an outcome here, but getting an outcome would require Democrat votes.
This is a bill that destroys the country, and it is not about showing ID when you show up to vote. It's about the voter registration rolls, destroying them, purging them, not letting people know.
Today, White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt claimed the only people the SAVE Act stops from voting are undocumented immigrants. President Trump said he wouldn't sign any bills until the SAVE Act passed. The SAVE Act would put requirements in place like voter ID and proof of citizenship requirements to vote.
First warning weather. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strum.
The weather's so warm today that high temperature close to a record, missing it by a couple of degrees as we continue with this warm, humid weather pattern. It's all dry around here, but we do have some thunderstorms rumbling from areas of the Midwest all the way down to Texas. And all these yellow zones, those are tornado watches. We got a lot of severe weather alerts, and all this is just moving basically toward the east. So we are expecting some rain to drop in on our area here. That is going to be Thursday morning. Let's time it out right now with our Futurecast. So take a look at this. Some clouds, some fog, kind of similar weather here as we take it through the day tomorrow. But then as we jump ahead to Thursday morning, this shows it coming in, starting to approach the area 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then quickly shifting through here 7, 8, 9 a.m. That's the way it times out here. Now, this is a model. The timing may be off a little bit, but this gives us a pretty good idea that we can expect rain, showers, and thunderstorms there on Thursday morning. And then it's out of the area really by the late morning to midday areas. It moves on, and then cold air flows in behind that rainy weather and behind a front, and that will happen during the day on Thursday. Rainfall amounts, let's just call it somewhere between 1/2 of an inch and 1 inch of rain. This data is going to be updating and changing and such. It just depends on what we actually end up with. But overnight, look out for a little bit of fog. Might slow things down a little out the door tomorrow morning. Low temperatures, low 60s or down around 60 degrees here first thing tomorrow morning. And then as we take it through the day, we're going to bring those temperatures way back up into the 80s again. Some sunshine, at times some clouds, especially as that fog is working its way out of the area. So our rain chance is way up there on Thursday. And again, that's for the first half of the day, showers and thunderstorms. So we go from warm weather tomorrow with highs up in the mid-80s to potentially a high closer to 70 on Thursday. That's if that colder air kind of rushes in very quickly behind that rain on Thursday. So we may end up with a scenario where it just kind of cools throughout the day here. Thursday night, Friday morning, kind of a chill in the air there. We warm it back up into the weekend, and then we've got another front that's going to shift through early next week, and that's definitely going to bring some colder air into the area.
The Werner Kia Tallahassee 500 is back, and it is bigger than ever. Rebate discounts up to $15,000. Rates as low as 0%. No payments for up to 6 months. Werner Kia is the #1 volume Kia dealer in Tallahassee year after year. The all-new Telluride and K4 hatchbacks are here. Reserve your test drive today. Nobody beats a Werner Kia deal. Nobody. It's Werner Kia Tallahassee 500. Visit us at wernerkia.com.
Stay connected with us wherever you are. Head to fox49.tv for the latest local news, breaking updates, and stories that matter to you. And we want you to join our conversation on our Facebook page. Just search Fox Tallahassee. Like, follow, and engage with us every day, no matter where you are. Learning firefighting and life skills in one weekend. The details for this year's Camp Ignite event before this week's deadline. It's a camp that teaches young women life skills and gives them a sneak peek into the world of firefighters. And with the application deadline approaching, time is running out to sign up. The Tallahassee Fire Department is getting ready for their second annual Camp Ignite. The all-girls weekend focuses on building confidence, creating friendships, and showcasing leadership. Girls between the ages of 14 and 21 are encouraged to attend. The camp will take place April 3rd and 4th. Applications close this Friday. To sign up, visit our website, fox49.tv. The link to apply will be in this story. We'll be right back. Stick with us.
Another warm, foggy night, but we do have some changes on the way, and of course we'll have another update tomorrow night.
With that fog, be careful when you're driving tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Please come back and join us again tomorrow night on Fox 49 News at 10.